Hello again. Welcome back to Satan's Trilogy. This is the beginning of Book 3, Chapter 1, and it will be reading 71. I am the author and the narrator. Sit back and let the story unfold. Esther's eyes opened. She was wide awake and ready to start her day. She moved quietly to the bathroom and sat on the toilet. Her mind was focused on creating a wonderful breakfast and the options available to her. Day walked into the bathroom, ignoring the fact that Esther was on the toilet. She went to the mirror in front of the first wash basin and leaned forward. After a few moments, Day said to Esther, "I am thinking about using less makeup. What do you think, Esther?" Esther wiped herself and pulled her silk undies up, then stood next to Day in front of the mirror. "I think that makeup is a way of expressing yourself. If today you feel like less makeup, then that is fine. It's not a permanent decision. You can change your makeup at any time you choose." Esther ran her fingers through her long blonde hair and commented, "I need to decide on a new and shorter hairstyle." Esther turned to leave the bathroom and stopped behind Day, looked into the mirror and commented, "You are very attractive. Your makeup is simply an expression of yourself at the moment. It doesn't hurt to change it." Esther gave Day a hug from behind, then left the room. Day walked to the toilet and pulled her silk panties down as she sat on the stool. She was deciding on whether or not to watch Esther exercise or to start applying some makeup for the day. Stepping back into the bedroom, Day had decided to watch Esther. After all, Esther would soon begin teaching her the art of defense, and Day wanted to become exceptional in self-defense. Esther had already put away the inflated beds and lit a small candle, placing it on top of some luggage, waiting to be stored. Day went to the corner and sat on a small chair. The hour passed quickly. Day had tried to study the moves and the execution of everything Esther had done. As usual, Esther had not broken a sweat, nor was she breathing hard. Walking up to Day, Esther asked, "How do waffles and sausage links sound for breakfast?" Waiting for a response, Esther looked at Day with a concerned smile. Day had been focused on the exercise so intensely that Esther's question caught her off guard. That sounds wonderful." Danielle and Tracy were standing in the hallway. They had caught some of Esther's exercise. Esther gave each a hug and commented to them, "My father has given Day and me the week off from our jobs at the store. I want to use the next 3 days to give you some instructions on handling aggressive people. Day and I will be home a little after 3. You should both be dressed in your gothic attire and makeup. We'll go to a secure place to practice." Esther smiled. "We'll all go. You can learn a lot in 3 days. Tracy seemed a little puzzled. "You know, Esther, Danielle and I have been in this business for a very long time. We know something about taking care of ourselves." Esther smiled. "I am sure you do. Now you're going to become even better. After all, you are now going into the ring and perform. I do not want my two new friends to be hurt." The twins went into the restroom as Esther went to the kitchen. They decided to dress for school while the twins were using the restroom. The sounds from the kitchen, pans and dishes being shuffled about, were heard by Day as she dressed, and it seemed that within seconds the aroma of wonderful sausage and Jamaican coffee filled the air. Day grabbed her black slim jeans and pulled them on. Next she decided on a black long-sleeve rayon blouse with golden threads running through the material. They grabbed a pair of leather boots that zipped along the side, and finally a patent black leather belt, very narrow in width, with a small onyx buckle, shaped like a raven. They tugged a bit on her jeans until they felt right, and then grabbed her makeup bag and went to the bathroom. Tracy and Danielle were about to leave when they saw Day had her makeup bag. Tracy said, "Oh, Day. Oh, Day, can we watch you do your makeup? We want to look as good as you do with our new Gothic look." Day looked at the two beautiful women. "Sure, but I have to say, you two are so gorgeous that even if you don't get it on perfect, you'll still look good." Day put the bag on the countertop and spread it wide open. Standing in front of the mirror, Day leaned forward and said, "I talked to Esther this morning about wearing a little less makeup. I think that is the direction I will go for today. I know that some guys see heavy makeup on a girl and they think they are cheap." They grabbed some pale foundation, started lightly patting it on, then continued to say, "I am not cheap." They paused as she moved, then continued, "I think my sister is right. Maybe less is more. You know what I mean?" Danielle spoke up. "That sounds real smart. We want to look high-end Gothic, and to look attractive with our Gothic style. Caked-on makeup can make a woman look as if she is for sale." Danielle leaned a bit forward to watch Day place some black eyeliner onto her eyes. She then added, "I know that Gothic will work for us. I already love it." "Today," said Day, "I start a new look, Gothic but mild." Day smiled at Danielle. "This will look really good on the two of you. Remember that my skin tone is different from yours, so you must apply the foundation differently." Esther looked into the bathroom and said, "Breakfast is ready when you girls are ready." She then quickly returned to the kitchen. Brandy was already sitting at the table, driven by the wonderful aromas. The table was still holding 2 extra leaves, and Brandy looked rather isolated sitting at the far end. However, she did look content as she sipped her coffee. Esther finished with the last waffle and moved a platter full of them to the table. She then added a platter of sausage links, followed by a large bowl of scrambled eggs, and, of course, a large plate of toast. Day and the twins walked into the kitchen. Day grabbed a large water goblet from the counter and filled it with ice water and ice from the refrigerator. The twins did the same, and everyone sat at the table, quickly dishing out some food after telling Esther how wonderful it all looked. Esther thanked everyone for the compliments and said, "This is why I want to be a chef. Everyone loves to enjoy good food. And while this is a simple breakfast with some flavor highlights, it is still enjoy just the same. Esther grabbed some of the sausage and then some scrambled eggs as she spoke. And I also love to enjoy simple foods. Taking her knife and fork, Esther cut the sausage into small bites and ate one of them. A wonderful smile came across her face. Day, our father has chosen well the company providing meats to the grocery store. I have never been disappointed with any of the meats. Day finished chewing the food in her mouth and said, Dad knows how to judge the difference between good groceries and great groceries. He will only sell what he believes the customer will be excited to return for and purchase again. Day took another bite of the sausage. Brandy looked at Day and commented, Day, you have used a bit less makeup. I really like it. Brandy watched for a response as she placed some scrambled eggs into her mouth. Day quickly responded, I have changed my appearance for the day. I must be changing because I love my new look. It's like Danielle said, heavy makeup can be misinterpreted as cheap. Day smiled at Esther. I think this is my new look. Tracy quickly spoke up. Danielle and I watched Day put her makeup on, and we love it. We want that look, gothic of sophistication. I can't believe how excited we are to start this new opportunity with Bo Jackson, and because of our new friends, we will be ready. Danielle added, Thursday, we leave for Texas to join Bo on tour. That just seems so far away. Esther smiled. You girls are lucky to be doing what you love. That is the secret to never having to work doing what you love. Brandy spoke up. You know, I just realized that is why I love my job. It isn't work to me. I love what I do. Esther smiled at Aunt Brandy. Being a nurse and caring for others is a wonderful way to earn a living. I think it is a very admirable one. Brandy blushed a bit at the compliment. Esther added, Serving others can be the best job of all. All right, said Esther. Day and I need to prepare for the day. It is going to be a busy week. We start some defense lessons this afternoon, and we have our state cross-country run on Saturday. Esther grinned. And we have our final calculus exam where we will finally crush the guys. Esther turned to Day and gave her a high five. Over the past few weeks, Esther came to the realization that her high-end dishwasher actually did a better job of washing the china than she did. Accordingly, Esther asked everyone to rinse off their plate when finished and to place it into the dishwasher. The extreme hot water and air drying does an excellent job. Esther and Day started for the hallway as Brandy jumped up. I guess I need to move too. This left the twins at the table alone, but not for long. Within minutes, Esther had dressed and returned to the kitchen to start the dishwasher. She was wearing a pink chiffon dress, about knee-high, and a golden sweater made from Angora wool. Esther had chosen yellow, 2-inch high heels that offered solid support for the foot. After tossing some soap into the dishwasher and closing the door, Esther sat down with the twins. Tracy and Danielle were enjoying the Jamaican coffee as they watched Esther in the kitchen. This is so exciting, Esther said to them as she pulled a few items from her sweater pocket. I consider myself lucky that I am in a position to help you both. Esther looked at them, smiling, and then continued, I have lived a long and exciting life. When I find friends, I do what I can to help them. Esther paused and continued, So this week, while we are in school, the two of you can enjoy a car my cousin has provided for you." Esther dropped a car fob onto the table in front of the girls, and then pushed a card in front of them. "This is a debit card for Markle's at the Wilson Barnett Mall. It has over $20,000 credit on it. I want you girls to shop at Markle's this week and find all the clothes that you will need for your new job." Esther smiled and added, "Mr. Markle is a dear friend of mine. I told him 2 close girlfriends of mine would be using the card. Just sign my name, and if anyone questions you, have them call Marco Polo." Esther stood up and reached forward to give Tracy a hug. "By Thursday, when you girls leave for a new adventure, you will not only be prepared, but you will be in charge." Esther smiled at the both of them as she then reached over to hug Danielle. "I am going to see to that." Stepping back slightly, Esther added, "Please remember that I need you both here at 3 o'clock and ready to go." Esther was walking away as she added, "You will love the next 3 days." Day came out from the bathroom and was ready for school. As Esther opened the door, Esther gave a couple of last suggestions. "From this day forward, you should dress Gothic. Go out today as 2 Gothic girls. People will view you differently. I think the 2 of you can handle that." Day grabbed her black leather backpack, which only held some cosmetics and grooming items. Like Esther, Day had already mastered the class texts and didn't need to study. Esther grabbed her leather brown backpack, which held an assortment of items, none of which was school-related. Esther looked back at the twins and smiled. "Love you 2. Esther followed Day out the front door. Esther and Day walked out the side of the entrance and to Esther's Mustang, parked alongside the complex. Day jumped behind the wheel as usual, and Esther sat in the passenger seat. They started to discuss how excited she was that today she would start learning some defensive moves. Excited, they asked, "Where are we going to go after school to learn these moves?" Esther responded, "The warehouse that they took Riley Grace when she was kidnapped." "What?" said Day. "I got it at a bargain. It is an awesome building," said Esther. "Oh, and it has a state-of-the-art security system installed that is second to none." Esther smiled and then added, "My friend John allowed me to keep the security system. They wanted to pull it out, but because I help him on occasion, he conveniently forgot about it." Esther giggled. "Besides, I was thinking long-term. As our father expands the grocery business, the warehouse can be a great distribution center." They heard Esther's last remarks and said, "Esther, you are so perfect. That is exactly what our father needs, should he decide to expand." "I know that this could happen. I just don't know if it is what he wants." Day seemed puzzled at her own suggestion as she pulled into the school's parking lot. Esther understood what Day meant. Not everyone wants more of what they love in life. Sometimes our lives are perfect when it is simple. Esther decided to offer a comment. "Her father is wise. He will do what makes him the happiest." The girls jumped out of the car and walked up to the edge of the motorcycle parking, where John and his 2 buddies were standing alongside their new ninjas. "Good morning, Esther, and good morning, Day," said John, as Esther and Day approached. "How was your weekend?" John asked. "Hey there, John," said Day. "Do you follow World Organization of Wrestlers?" asked Day. John smiled. Doesn't everyone? He replied. Well, we met the twins, Danielle and Tracy. They knew that John followed the W.O.W. and was a fan of the twins. John stopped walking towards the school's entrance. No way. That is so grand. Were they awesome? Did you get their autograph? Everyone stopped walking as they tried to answer his questions. They really are awesome. They love coffee and they travel with a Keurig coffee machine. They paused for a second, then added, Never thought to ask for their autograph. She then added, You must be a really big fan. I don't mind admitting, I've been in love twice, and it is with Tracy and Danielle, John added. I can't decide which one is cuter, but I know both are absolutely awesome. John's friend, Wes, spoke up. John likes to dream big. They probably have men chasing them all the time. I doubt that they would be interested in a 19-year-old high school senior. Esther quickly interrupted the conversation. After school, we are going to the old Carson warehouse. I have promised to train Riley Grace how to defend herself. It seems that everyone wants to learn. You guys have always had my back. If you are interested, you should show up. This week, I am going to explain arm holds and how to gain leverage on a person. They reached the entrance of the school. John said, I am in. I am very grateful, Esther, for the invite. Mike and Wes looked at each other and quickly realized this was a huge opportunity. Mike spoke up. Esther, we are all excited to learn from you. Thank you. Esther went to Mike, John, and Wes, hugging each of them, and told them, You three have really good hearts. I have no problem training you. Esther turned to John and added, You're my big brother. Esther smiled at John as she entered the high school, and they scanned their body for weapons. I want you to train hard so that you will always be safe. Esther grinned as she picked up her book bag, and they separated for their morning classes. You know, John, it's a jungle out there. Esther took off for her first class, and John just laughed. He really did know that Chicago could be a jungle. Wes was close by and asked John, Don't we have to work tonight? John turned to Wes. Listen to me, Wes. Minimum wage jobs are all around the city, but a chance to learn self-defense from Esther Saint is something you would be foolish to pass up. John and Wes did a fist bump as John walked into his first class and Wes continued down the hallway. All right, I'm going to stop there. That was reading 71 and the beginning of Book 3. Hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, be safe and take care.